Ali.
How's it going, Ali?
Not Mustafa Ali.
Just a single, but you know what you should do is you should say Ali and like a two-name delivery, like Ali.
That's good.
Then I might just be Ah.
Yeah, don't give Vince any ideas. Come
Ali
on.
it is. Ali it is.
Hey. Yeah. It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
I am a huge fan of your work. You've been doing incredible stuff on SmackDown over the last few months. How has this ride been for you? I guess quite a topsy-turvy couple of months, given that you were injured and out of the title picture.
Yeah, a very emotional night Sunday night will be. I will be watching Daniel Bryan compete against Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship, and the question of what if will be creeping in my mind the entire time. I have all the love and respect in the world for Kofi Kingston, but the fact that I got injured in what was supposed to be a moment for me at the Elimination Chamber, it's obviously going to weigh heavy on my mind. A very, like you said, like a very turbulent year for me. I got, moved up to the SmackDown roster, so a very high point in my career, and then I got injured, and I missed out on pretty much the biggest match of my WWE career. So yeah, man, it's a situation where I've accepted it. I don't know if it was an accident; it might have just been destiny. This is meant to happen for Kofi, and I mean, obviously, look how the fans have taken to him. So if there's any solace in this, somewhat dark cloud, it's that at least Kofi Mania is running wild.
Kofi Mania is running wild. Has Kofi said anything to you backstage? Because presumably, and we all know what a nice man Kofi is, presumably he would have felt pretty bad about the situation.
The most amazing thing about Kofi, yeah, we've had, he's been saying some very nice stuff to me in interviews. We had a backstage thing with WWE posted on our Instagrams. Us just basically talking about this situation, about how wild it is and how he was feeling for me. But the coolest thing was at the Elimination Chamber on what arguably is one of the biggest nights of his career. He took the time out to get in touch with me, after the match. So I know my mentality after the match, like it's not to reach for my phone. You're getting feedback from producers. You're talking to the boss. Obviously he had a grueling, long match. But the fact that when he got to the locker room, he took the time to reach out to me, and him not just him, but the rest of the New Day as well. Like that meant a lot. There's a lot of respect shown for that. You know what I mean? And like you can't replicate that. So yeah, Kofi Kingston is quite the saint.
That's very sweet to hear. Do you know what I think you should do? I think you should interrupt the match on Sunday and cost Kofi the belt.
I've been told that several times. They said, hey, what would be really great is if you just hit Kofi. No, man, this is Kofi's moment, man. Sunday is going to be something very, very special for him. I know, and I'm pulling for him, and I know the rest of the WWE universe as well.
Now, talk to me about promos, if you don't mind, because it's a bit of a lost art in some ways, but I've been loving the backstage stuff or the stuff outside the arena in the snow that you've been doing down the camera. Really sort of brooding and just an awesome performance. Is this something that you're sort of channeling from within?
So again, another New Day reference. About a year and a half ago, I want to say I had a backstage promo, and the verbiage wasn't what I would say, and I kind of fought tooth and nail for it. And I remember kind of venting to Xavier Woods about it, and he said, "Well, it's kind of on you." I said, "Why is it on me?" And he goes, "If the writers and the production staff and everyone here don't understand you, they don't see you for what you want to be, then that's on you. You're not presenting yourself in the right light." So he said, "Go do it. Shoot what you want to shoot. Talk the way you want to talk. Go do it." So all these outside promos that you see, that's actually the inspiration from Xavier Woods kind of pushing me out the door to go do it. I have a very good friend named Craig Mitchell that lives out in Chicago, and he just gets me. He sees my vision. He sees the way I want to shoot these. So yeah, I'm very proud of the way I shoot these outdoor promos, so much so that, as you can see, some of them have made TV. But yeah, I've got a lot of good feedback on that, and it's just different. You know what I mean? Like no one else is doing it, and it's how I want to be presented.
And so do you think it's quite hard because the roster is packed with such incredible talent, now more so than ever, just an unbelievable roster up and down the board. Do you think it's hard for young talents to kind of push through, get themselves noticed, and crucially get themselves noticed in the correct way?
Oh, absolutely. You look at the show itself, it's such a quick-going show now. Like we have to go from segment to segment. And when you have a big match on SmackDown or Raw, sometimes the time is so limited because there's so many people that are trying to get on the show. So it's kind of like WWE has done a great job of bringing all of these unbelievable talents under one umbrella, but sometimes like the negative or the sacrifice we make is that we don't get the time sometimes. That's one of the best things about 205 Live. If you notice, they've stuck to a 2-match structure now, and each match gets about 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so these guys really get time to shine and show what they can do.
Yeah.
And there's always talking segments and like that. But why? Because the roster is so small. You know what I mean? So in same regards, like it's that thing, man. But obviously, there's so many, you know, on live events, on these network specials, like they need people for this. So it's understandable why the company's so big. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's definitely hard to kind of stick out from the pack, so to speak. Move sets, everything from move sets to entrances, like you can find similarities across the board. Hence, again, why these outdoor promos I do. I try to find something that just makes me a little different.
Yeah, I love it. Let's talk WrestleMania.
Yes.
Huge weekend, huge
Just
event
a little
coming
event
up.
coming up, just a small little thing.
It's going to be nothing. It's going to be boring, if anything. Presumably, you grew up a massive wrestling fan. Talk to me about some of your early WrestleMania memories. Who did you kind of watch and look up to when you were a kid?
I was a big Bret the Hitman Hart fan.
Good boy.
So WrestleMania 10 was, quite the spectacle. Him and Owen putting on that.
Best opening match ever?
I would say I couldn't think of anything else that would outdo it. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and say that best opening match ever. And then obviously the cool kind of arc on the end of the night with Bret winning the championship from Yokozuna. But you get that shot of Owen standing in the aisleway, and you immediately go, oh, I know where this is going. It's just so poetic and so good. Another big moment for me was just watching the Hardy Boys do what they do. With these, I believe it was WrestleMania 2000. When Jeff had the ladder up in the aisleway, when he stood on top of it, and he did a swanton bomb on Bubba Ray Dudley, and just that shot of him standing on top. And it's back in the day when everyone's doing the flash photography. Yeah. That's such an iconic moment for me as a kid, because I remember going like, that's what I want to do, all the way then you go to like WrestleMania 17, same exact scenario, TLC match, and Edge spears Jeff Hardy off the top while he's holding on the belt. It's just like really, really cool, iconic moments. And then I know I keep talking about the Hardy Boys, but a few years ago when the Hardy Boys returned, myself, Cedric Alexander, the rest of the 205 Live roster, NXT, we were all in the suites watching. And when they came out, I'm not kidding you, grown men were jumping on each other. Like, I jumped up in the air and Cedric somehow caught me, thankfully. And I just look over and Gargano's losing his mind. Like, it's just very cool. Like, we all watch these guys. Yeah. So it was a cool moment, yeah.
Just talking about flash photography in the audience, there's not enough of that anymore. Because of mobile phones, we don't get that cool bulbs flashing in the crowd.
That's one thing I sorely miss, honestly. The flash photography was really cool. Like Austin would go up on the turnbuckles and raise his hand. Just the flash photography. I miss it. I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just finally, you talk about those big WrestleMania moments, the Hardys in particular, taking big risks to entertain the crowd. Do you sort of put a lot of pressure on yourself to outdo what you've done the night before?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people kind of pull me aside to let me know about the trap I'm setting up for myself, so to speak. At Fastlane, I took some questionable moments, including Daniel Bryan drop kicking me from the middle rope to the barricade. And it looked like my shoulder had gotten popped out. So a lot of people are out of concern, obviously, and telling me you've got a long career here, you need to slow it down. But I do feel that sense of I've got to outdo myself. I have to. I don't feel like I've proven. I don't feel like I've cemented my place yet on SmackDown or on Raw or in WWE. I don't feel that. And when I do, I feel like that's when the character has had an emotional connection with the crowd, and I think we're getting there, but we're just not there yet, and that's on me, obviously. The injury obviously took a lot out of momentum out of what we were going to, but I do feel that pressure still, and I feel like once I make that connection with the crowd, fans of mine will say it's not an Ali match until you feared for his well-being at some point in the match. So I'm all right, guys. I'm healthy. I'm good.
Awesome. Well, you're a lovely man, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Really great to meet you. Thank you.